Hi, I'm Alex. Thanks for meeting with me today. Yes, I appreciate that, and I am here to ask for help from VR. I'm really kind of lost at this point in my life. I'm not sure if you're aware, I've had some pretty drastic life changes recently. First, with the arrival of my new baby boy, who was born recently, as well as I've just been laid off from my current position. The company downsized, and so I'm kind of considering whether I should go back to school to increase my credentials. Again, I'm here for help, and I'm definitely open to any other ideas. Okay, that sounds great. Thanks so much. Yes, my name is Alex Colagaro, and I'll spell that for you, Cologaro. I actually did work with VR in the past, but my case was closed due to the fact that that was actually how I found the current position that I was just recently laid off from. And so that's why I'm back with the agency now to see if you can help me again at this point in my life. Yeah, the facility that I met with VR in the past was on Lamar Avenue. And you know, like I said, the case is closed because the case was closed because I was able to locate a job through that relationship. Right. Oh, it was such a long time ago. I really don't remember who my counselor was. Yes, I received my GED, and then I went on to earn an AS degree. And since that time, you know, I've been working. Unfortunately, it just seems that an AS degree isn't sufficient anymore. That you really need something more than that in the workforce today. Yes, I live at 123 John Avenue, and that's in Austin, Texas. Yes, that is correct. I was downsized. I'm sure you've heard about Motorola and all the layoffs that they have been handing out, and I was victim of that. Yes, I had several jobs before I began working at Motorola. I delivered pizzas. I worked in a restaurant. I also worked in a warehouse and did some assembly line work of, involving car parts. I also worked as a camp counselor and a dorm supervisor at the Texas School for the Deaf. Well, as far as my strengths go, I would say that I work very well independently without direct supervision. I would like to go back to school and earn a degree in technology, to work as a technician, to go out to different businesses and troubleshoot, make service calls, that type of thing. But definitely, I have the ability to work well on my own, and I don't need constant supervision or direction. Okay, regarding my weaknesses, I would say that mine would definitely be a lack of interaction with my coworkers. Um, Communication is a bit difficult for me being deaf, and I am guilty sometimes of uh, reaching a point of frustration, and I don't reach out to my coworkers probably the way that I should, and I get very focused on the task at hand, and I definitely could be more proactive in that area, and try harder to interact on a professional level with my colleagues. Well, I would, as I said a minute ago, I would really love to work independently, possibly as a freelance technician. Definitely under the umbrella of a company, but being, sent out on service calls and that type of thing. I'm not much of a cubicle 9 to 5 person. I really like to get out, and that would be something that I would thoroughly enjoy. And just to be honest with you, with this new baby at home, and my recent layoff, money is very tight. But half of me is really thinking I need to go back to school and earn a higher degree than I currently have. While the other half of me is, wanting to get back to work, back in the workplace quickly so that I can begin earning. I really feel as if I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place at this point. I'm just not sure which way I should go with my future. I hope you can help me. Okay. Oh, well, I think $1 million a year sounds reasonable. Well, it is very typical for most deaf people, not just myself, that, communication barriers are present. And I did experience that at Motorola. And, just to give you a real life example, if my supervisor were to call a staff meeting or a department meeting, they would not bring in an interpreter so that I could fully participate in the meeting. And it really made me feel very excluded, and as if my opinion, there was no way for me to voice my opinion. Often my boss tried to eradicate the situation with telling me that he would write notes to me after the meeting occurred and to keep me abreast of what had happened in the meeting. But these meetings would go on, and then he would give me just a short synopsis of what had happened. So I really didn't feel that I was able to fully participate in these meetings due to the lack of providing me with an interpreter. And it just made me feel like as if I was not really part of the team there. Well, that's a great question, and if I were presented with that situation again, what I would do is definitely provide resources or tools to my new employer. Many times employers are not aware of how to obtain interpreting services, so I could provide that resource. They're not familiar with relay service, the relay service that's provided that deaf people use, so I could also provide that resource to them. And so I would definitely try to educate my employers more in that area rather than just ignoring it. Uh, well, I would say two things come to mind when you ask me that question. First of all would be interpreting services, kind of as I discussed before, and then also patience. I would like a future employer of mine to know that once I am taught something, I pick that up very quickly and am able to work on my own, and I'm a quick learner, and I think that is definitely a positive and a benefit for any company that I would go to work for. So I would say interpreting services and patience would be the two things that I would require as an accommodation.
Okay, sounds good. All right, man. Leonard.
Yes, I think that a video phone at a minimum would be an accommodation that an employer should provide for me. And really, other than that, nothing else would be necessary. You know, I'm a hard worker, and I go to work to focus on my job and not to improve my social life. So a VP or a video phone would be all I would need. I have taken an aptitude test, but to be honest with you, it was so long ago, I really can even barely remember it. And I do not remember the findings of that test or the results. Do you mean my personal interests or my professional interests? Well, personally, I enjoy sports. I like to travel and spend time with friends and family, and of course my newborn son. Well, I do have great computer skills, and I'm familiar with the Microsoft Office suite. I do well with that. Microsoft Word, Excel, integration, those types of things. Computers. I'm very comfortable working with computers. I was wondering if there's a possibility that VR could provide me with some assistance with daycare costs for my son. Yes, I am curious if I should happen to move, would I be able to stay with the same VR counselor, or would I be assigned a new counselor? No, I think that you've answered all of my questions. No, I think those are all the questions that I have. Yes, my phone number is 440-444-0044. I do have an email address, and that is texasdawg, DAWG, at hotmail.com. I would definitely prefer email. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me. I definitely appreciate it.